Welcome to this painting tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how I painted this World Eater Chaos Space Marine for a Chaos Space Marine army. I really do like the end result of this tutorial. It was very fun to paint and very nice looking. And if you find the tutorial helpful, please like, comment and subscribe. So I'm going to start with priming the miniature, and for that I used Rust-Oleum Grey Automotive Primer. This is the one that I've always been recommending people. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use Mephiston Red, and I'm going to thin it down and apply as a base coat all over the miniature. Of course, you can save yourself a bunch of time if you get the spray can, the spray colored primer, either from Citadel or Army Painter. Also, you could probably find an airbrush primer colored red, and you can use that instead. What's important here is to do the base coat thin so that it doesn't take away any detail on the model, and just apply it all over the miniature. I use the grey primer because I paint a lot of models, and grey is a very nice base for any sort of color. It's a medium tone and it works very well. This primer takes the paint very easily. Just one coat, it's enough to get the paint looking good, and I like it a lot. Next I'm going to use Baal Red Wash, but you can use the carroburg Crimson shade, and it's basically the same thing. And I'm going to use a large brush to apply it all over the miniature. Just mop it in, just let it sit in the cracks and crevices, and don't miss any spots. And that's it. It's very simple to do, and gives the miniature a good shade. Once that is dry, I'm going to apply the first highlight with a 50-50 mix of Evil Sunz Scarlet and Mephiston Red. Just put it 50-50 mix on the wet palette, give it a drop of water and a drop of glaze medium. That will create a very nice thin mixture that you can apply all over the miniature and give you a good transition. This method, more than layering, is sort of closer to glazing, and those who are familiar with my tutorials know that I like to use this technique a lot. You could not thin on the paint so much, but the quality won't be that good. The transition will look very obvious, but you can do that to save time if you want. But with this method, you just apply one coat all over the most exposed parts of the red, leaving the shades on the original color, and then let the first layer dry and apply a second one and build opacity that way, being careful to highlight a smaller portion of the previous highlight each new highlight. After the first layer is dried, I applied a second coat. Here's what I'm doing here, and it's very important to leave the previous layers dry, because if you don't, if you move it while it's already created that kind of film or coat of paint half dried, you are going to break it and create brush strokes and paint crumbs. Once that you're happy with the first highlight, you can use straight Evil Sunz Scarlet. Again, thin it with one drop of water and one drop of glaze medium, and give a sort of extreme highlight on the very top parts of the model. This will create a very nice red looking transition. And actually I think it looks even better in person. The camera shifts the red color in a weird way. That's why I switched the background to try and show the red a little bit better. But I think I could, if I had a better camera, I could have done a better job than this. But I don't for the moment, so this is the best I can do. Remember this final highlight, make it towards the highest parts of the model, and that's it. Now that all of the layering is done, I'm going to use Wild Rider Red, and with this color I'm going to give it a final touch, which is an edge highlight on the places where you can see visible red edges. I'm going to give them a little edge highlight with this color, just to make them pop a little bit more. This step is not really necessary if you don't want to spend a lot of time on your World Eaters or Khorne Berzerkers, but it does make it look a little bit better. For this I'm using a small brush. You can use a detail brush or a fine detail brush, that's fine. And just try and hit all of the edges. The color was thinned down with water on a wet palette so that it stays wet, and it's a very good idea to wash the brush every couple of minutes or every minute so that you avoid dry paint on the tip of the brush, because if you're using a very small brush, it's very easy for the paint to dry quickly on the tip of it. So it's a little bit tedious because of that, but this step makes the edges stand out a lot more. Thank you for watching the first part of this tutorial. This is how the miniature looks after all the red applied to it, and I hope you like it thus far, and stay tuned to see the next part of the tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. If you find this tutorial helpful, like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you later.